Hey everyone, welcome back to The Explainer. Today we're looking at something absolutely massive, one of the most incredible natural wonders on Earth. We're talking about glaciers, which are basically our planet's giant storage tanks for fresh water. Let's get into it.
So get this. Did you know there are actual rivers out there made entirely of solid ice? They slowly move across the planet. It sounds kind of like magic, right? But it's 100% real science.
Okay, here's our roadmap for today. First, what glaciers are. Second, their types and movement. Third, how they shape the land. Fourth, why they matter. Fifth, glaciers in a changing world. And finally, some amazing facts and how we can protect them. Let's go! Section 1. What are glaciers? Let's start with the basics.
A glacier is basically a giant mass of ice. But here's the absolute crucial thing. They form on land. We aren't just talking about ice floating out in the middle of the ocean. They are created entirely from snow that falls, year after year. When more snow falls in the winter than melts in the summer, it just builds up and gets pressed into these giant, heavy structures.
It happens in a simple three-step process. Step 1. Soft snow falls year after year. Step 2. The sheer weight of all that new snow presses down, squishing the older snow into this hard, grainy stuff called firn. And step 3. Over many, many years, it finally turns into thick, solid glacier ice. Because it gets so unimaginably heavy, the glacier actually starts moving, just like a super slow, icy river. Now, where is all this ice hiding? Well, a whopping 99% of all glacial ice on Earth is in just two places, Antarctica and Greenland. The other tiny 1% is scattered high up in mountain regions around the world. So almost all of this incredible ice is locked away at the freezing extremes of our planet. Section 2. Types and movement. Let's explore the different kinds of glaciers and how they actually travel. There are two main types. First up, we have ice sheets. These cover huge areas of land, literally hiding the surface almost completely. As we just learned, you'll find these mainly in Antarctica and Greenland. Second, we have mountain glaciers. These are a lot smaller. They form way up high in mountain ranges like the Himalayas, the Alps, the Andes, Alaska, and the Caucasus, and they slowly flow down the valleys. You might be wondering, how fast does a solid block of ice actually flow? Well, thanks to gravity and their own heavy weight, they do move. Usually it's really slow, maybe a few centimeters to a few meters per day. But the fastest glaciers out there, they can actually move tens of meters in a single day. Section 3. How glaciers shape land. Let's see what happens when millions of tons of ice scrape across the Earth. So, glaciers don't just sit there looking pretty. As they slide downhill, they act like giant, frozen bulldozers, completely changing the shape of the land around them. And these bulldozers do some incredible things. As they move, they easily crush and break heavy rocks. They carry those rocks, along with sand and clay, for miles. They carve out these massive, deep valleys with really steep sides. When they finally stop or melt, they leave behind long ridges of carried rocks, which scientists call moraines. Plus, when that ice melts, it leaves behind beautiful fresh lakes and wide plains.
Section 4. Why glaciers matter. We know they're strong, but these frozen rivers are also incredibly important to all living things.
Check out this amazing number, 69%. Glaciers store about 69% of all the fresh water on Earth. Think about that for a second. More than half of the clean, fresh water on our entire planet is safely locked up in these giant ice banks. And they have other super vital jobs too. Glaciers feed many of the world's largest rivers. They also act like giant white mirrors, reflecting sunlight away from Earth to help cool the planet down. And because they feed those rivers, they provide fresh drinking water for millions of people every single day. Section 5. Glaciers in a changing world. We need to talk about the current challenges facing our planet's ice. The reality is, our world is changing. Because of global warming, Earth's climate is getting warmer. And that means these giant stores of fresh water are shrinking and melting really, really fast. This rapid melting causes some serious problems. First off, all that extra melted ice flows right into the oceans, which makes the sea levels rise. Second, it causes major changes in river flow, which can really hurt the communities that rely on that water. And third, it leads to the loss of unique natural ecosystems. Animals and plants that depend on the cold ice are literally losing their homes. Section 6. Amazing Facts and Protection.
To wrap things up, I want to share some mind-blowing numbers with you and a message of hope. Here is a really fun fact. 77 kilometers. That is the length of the Fejkenshin Glacier in Tajikistan. It holds the record as the longest mountain glacier anywhere in the world outside of the polar regions. Just picture a solid river of ice 77 kilometers long. Now think about this wild number, 58 meters. Remember the Antarctic ice sheet, the absolute largest glacier on Earth? Well, if all the ice in Antarctica melted, the global sea level would rise by about 58 meters. That would completely change the map of our continents. It really puts into perspective just how massive these ice sheets are. As we've seen, glaciers are an incredibly important part of our planet. Let's protect them for future generations. Because by keeping our planet clean and healthy, we help protect these giant freshwater stores. And when we protect them, we protect the animals, the rivers, and each other. So, here's my question for you to think about as we end today's explainer. What step will you take today to help protect our planet and its amazing natural treasures? Every little bit helps. Thank you so much for joining me to learn about glaciers. I hope you found it as fascinating as I do. See you next time.